what is the difference there? What is your
Everything,
okay?
everything. The way my grandmother made that pizza breaks every rule in the in the pizza knowledge that I've gained since going down this road.
Okay.
However, if I change anything to it, any little bit of the process, it's not the same pizza that the people are used to. And God, do I get messages about it.
Welcome to Inside the Oven with Tony Cerimele, World Pizza Champion. In this episode, we sit down with Tony, the winner of Pizza Maker of the Year at Pizza Expo, who shares how his Italian roots in Pennsylvania shaped his journey to pizza greatness. My Amazon shop, Pizza Therapy and Everyday Wonders, sponsors this video. You're welcome to browse my curated recommendations or grab anything available on Amazon through my storefront. As an Amazon influencer, I may earn a small commission if you purchase through my link. Doesn't affect your price, and it helps support content like this. Thanks for being here. All links will be below. Albert Granda here. I'm talking to Pizza Maker of the Year with Tony Cerimele, World Pizza Champion. Been making pizza for many years, legendary pizza maker at this point. And Tony, thanks a lot for hanging out with me.
Oh, glad to be here, Albert.
I want to get started with you and your family. They really were influential in you getting into pizza. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, um, the most important people in my life, regardless of food, but with food, were my mother and father. Um, but so we grew up Nesquehoning. I'll say it again so you can pronounce it. But it's a small coal town in northeastern Pennsylvania. It's almost smack. It's right next to Jim Thorpe. It's kind of smack in the middle. From the Lehigh Valley, which is Allentown, Bethlehem, and Scranton. So kind of right in the
Yep.
middle.
Okay.
And grew up there my entire life. The Italian section of Nesquehoning was called New Columbus. And the story goes back in the 50s, and my grandparents were always great cooks, but back in the 50s, my uncle Michael, they called him Schmick, was being laid off, kind of like I'm being laid off now, but he was being laid off from his job and he had about a year left. And he approached his parents and said he'd like to start making food and catering. And I don't know if they made food for people and would sell it prior to that. That I'm not
Yep.
sure.
Sure.
But they converted the basement of the house where my grandparents lived, and actually my dad bought it, and that's kind of where I grew up. But well, it is where I grew up. They converted the basement of the house into a full commercial kitchen and started a catering business,
Wow.
like weddings, funerals, clam bakes, all that stuff. A big catering business. And kind of the story goes with pizza. My grandmother would make pizza for people to eat when they were there working,
Yep.
prepping for catering. And
Sure.
then my uncles would take the pizza and they wouldn't eat it. They would take slices and they would take it to the fire company. They
Sure.
would take it to the VFW and they would sell it. So, long story short, my grandmother would start making pizza just on Fridays for people to buy.
Right.
So that's kind of how our family's legacy in the pizza started.
Right.
Now, and you fast forward all those years, my uncle's business went skyrocketed.
Wow.
Like I would tell you, I don't know, probably in the heyday, 25, 30 catering jobs a week,
Wow.
massive 400
Wow.
people weddings and all that stuff. And,
Yeah.
he had vending machines, ice cream machines, God knows how many 150 tents he had and sold and rented and all that. So he did very well for himself. Um, and at the same time, still after my grandpass would still make the pizza, and my parents helped all that
Yeah.
time.
It's
Um,
part of the family legacy, part of the family business.
but it was funny as he got older and everything kind of consolidated back to, probably the last 10 years that he was in business, because they think he stopped when he was 84,
Yeah.
I think, something like that, 82. Um, he would just at that point make food for people just to come and pick it up and take it, for a party or whatever, and then still make the pizza. So, so yeah, that's the pizza that I learned how to make. I'm kind of over that pizza, Albert.
Yeah.
I don't even eat it anymore. Um, I've had it so much in my life, and I really, I have to tell you, I know we'll talk about it, but I could have gave a shit about pizza. I
Uh-oh.
went to college,
Yep.
didn't give a shit about it. Especially my family's pizza. I was over it. We used to sneak away. We used to try to go to Lehighton to Pizza Como to get, Nino's New York style pizza,
Yep. Yep.
because we were sick of it. So, um, but, but the defining moment of my pizza career was when I met my wife, Marianne, who's from Old Forge. Now, I have to tell you, Old Forge is probably an hour north of Nesquehoning,
Yep.
and it's in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area. And we never really went north of Hazleton, my family. So I never had Old Forge pizza ever in my
Okay.
life. So
And if I could stop you just for a second, Old Forge is a legendary type of pizza, only found in that area of Pennsylvania or in that town, correct?
yeah, they're all phenomenal people. I really, I've met so many people in Old Forge, Mark and Angelo Janelle and Mary Lou Verdetto and Phyllis and Russell Rinaldi, and they're just some of the nicest people I ever met in my life.
Okay.
Everybody in that town that makes pizza, they help each other. They it's it's a neat little town. It's a neat little town. But and they make phenomenal pizza. Every one of them does.
Yep.
And they're all different, which is kind of cool too, because they all taste a little different. They don't taste the same, which is another cool thing, because it's almost like you're eating a different pizza, you
Right.
know.
Right. And
But
can you describe it? What is Old Forge pizza?
so for the people that never had it, I would say Old Forge pizza, the crust it's baked in a pan, like a 12 by 18 pan. The red pizza is. We'll get to the white. Um, it's baked in a pan, half sheet pan, I guess, 12 by 18. Um, I would say the crust has a thickness somewhat in between like a thicker grandma and a skinny Sicilian, so it's not thick. It's
Yep.
not a Sicilian, it's
Yep.
thicker than grandma. They're usually baked twice, so they bake a shell normally. The sauce, all the sauces are different. My favorite ones have onions in them, a lot of black pepper,
Yep.
like a spicy marinara type of thing, and then they're all different cheese blends. Some are brick, some are mozzarella, cheddar, brick, a little bit of, excuse me, a little bit of American. It just
Yep.
kind of depends on the place you're going to, you know. And then the white pizza is, I put it in the Pursuit of Cookbook, or I'm sorry, the Pursuit of Pizza cookbook with the World Pizza Champions.
Right. Right.
Um, the white pizza is heavenly. I mean, it's that dough that's stuffed with cheese, whatever blend they use, folded over, topped with onions and rosemary and black pepper. Now you can get people put spinach in it, broccoli, whatever. But that's one of my favorite things in the world to eat is the white pizza from Wolf Forge.
Okay. Great. Great. Is
It's
that
okay.
similar to the one you made in for your Pizza Maker of the Year?
Oh no, not
Totally
not
different.
not close.
Yep.
No, I made an Old Forge pizza. It's funny. Um, the competition in Las Vegas before I won Pizza Maker of the Year, right after we did the shooting for the cookbook where I did the white pizza,
Yep.
I I made an Old Forge double crust white pizza for in the pan division which was probably the best Old Forge white double crust I ever made in my life.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
came in 45th out of 48.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
maybe I guess the judges didn't get it. I don't know what it was, but that's a special pizza. I love that pizza. But going back to Old Forge, you know, Old Forge, and I always credit that town and the people there. They are my second date with my wife. We went to Cafe Rinaldi. I'll never forget it. And I didn't know anything about Old Forge pizza. I'm thinking we're going to get this big round New York style
Yep.
pizza, and I'm ready. And then they bring it out. It's I'm looking at it, and I'm like, and I'm tasting it. It was phenomenal. And I'm like, huh. I'm looking up at the bar, 8 people deep. I'm thinking, huh, this pizza is very similar. It's different. And
You're
that's
with your
when the
wife.
light in my head kind of went off to say, huh, this pizza looks similar to kind of what my family made, different but similar. And that's when I started making pizza again. So
Okay.
I always give Old Forge that credit. And I love every pizza place in that town. So
Oh, no kidding. So you had been making pizza prior to that, and that got you back into it.
when I was 22 years
Wow.
old,
Wow. Wow. And so what happened? You got back into it? How? What was the next step?
I just started making pizza probably every day. I probably went through 5 KitchenAid mixers, you know, and
Wow.
I started making pizza every day and just testing out different things and making my families, trying to make Old Forge, all that stuff, and then when my uncle retired, it was probably 7, 8, 9 years into that process. I talked to my dad. I said, let's do this. Let's keep the family legacy going. And then when my uncle cleaned all the everything out of the basement, we redid it and reopened.
Oh, no kidding.
Hmm.
So that was the first uh uh pizza place that you were in that you made. You made it, you kind of made
It's
it from
still
scratch?
there. It's the only one I have.
Okay. And that's the New Columbus Pizza
Yes.
Company.
Yep.
Wow. And is it still in the same location?
Oh yeah.
No kidding.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yep. My mom lives upstairs. My dad passed, almost 5 years ago.
Yep.
But yeah, still in the same place.
Wow. That is fantastic. And so, okay, here you are at 22. You're starting the business again, making pizza. And
Well,
then
I was
what
about
happens?
32 when that
All right,
happened.
32 years later. And so then what happens? You're just tooling away making pizza.
Still with a full-time job,
Oh, okay. All right.
but yeah, but I always wanted to do more and 10, 12 years ago, that's when the mobile wood-fired stuff really started taking off. And I bought a Mar 40.
Yep.
I bought a Mar 40 oven and started doing, mobile wood-fired pizzas for catering. And we do probably 20, 25 jobs a year.
Yep.
And at the same time, really wanting to elevate my pizza skills. And that's when I kind of ran into Tony Gemignani. It
Okay. And tell what was that like?
was
What?
funny, this is before Instagram and all that stuff. And
Right.
and God, I'm getting old, Albert. But he I saw on Facebook, not before Facebook was there, but it wasn't like it is today. And he posted he was coming to Old Forge on the Pizza Bible
Okay.
tour. So I
Right.
sent him a message, hey, would love to
Right.
meet
With
you.
with 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 our old buddy Scott Anthony.
Yes, they were there. Scott Anthony doesn't like Old Forge pizza. You have to ask him about it.
All right, Will.
But
All right.
yeah, so I met Tony. He came to Old Forge. We went to a few places, and he was like, you should come to Expo. I'm like, well, all right, whatever. So I went to Expo a couple years, didn't compete at all. And then I think I competed once, maybe twice. Then I signed up and went to his school,
Okay.
and that really started the elevation of a lot of things that I've done,
Okay. Yeah.
you know.
So that changed your whole pizza making game, being
It
with
didn't
Tony
change my
Cerimele.
family's pizza because I can never change that.
Okay.
But um but it did change every other pizza I offer. That really kind of started me down the path of pre-ferments and all that other stuff. Tony and a few and Derek Sanchez and Lee Hunsaker and a few other people, my buddy Cosmo, that I really hone in on and we all kind of bounce stuff off each other.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. We'll call that artisan pizza and getting into that. Uh,
Sure.
where you're, it's almost, it's kind of like a scientific discovery almost because everything is very weighed out, measured. There's a whole entire process, the ferments,
Yeah.
pre-ferments, the bigas, the poolish, all that stuff. And that's just fantastic. Wow. So if I could ask you too, you said it didn't change your original parents' pizza. What is the difference there? What is your
Everything.
okay?
Everything. The way my grandmother made that pizza breaks every rule in the in the pizza knowledge that I've gained since going down this road. However,
Okay.
if I change anything to it, any little bit of the process, it's not the same pizza that the people are used to. And God, do I get messages about it.
Okay.
I did it when I first opened. I did things a little different. And it really wasn't until COVID that I had the time to kind of go back and rediscover the initial ways that they made that pizza and kind of reintroduce it.
Yep.
And I just
Yep.
can't change it.
Sure. So I mean, we'll say it's grandma pizza then, what your grandmother made.
It is, but
Yes.
it's not a grandma like in New York.
Okay. Not a grandma like New York. Her own
No.
style.
What's that, Albert?
Her own style of
Yeah, it was the
grandma.
way they made it, and there's a listen. I know your viewers are going to be there's American cheese on it. Like
Oh, okay.
I said to my dad, why is there American cheese on this? He goes, well, when she started making pizza, she used the ration cheese because that's what they
Wow.
got.
Right. That's all they could get. Right. Sure.
And that's what's on it.
Yep.
So, I, you know,
All right. Oh, that's fantastic. No, I mean, I'm no pizza purist. I say whatever tastes good to you is
it's
what good
funny
pizza is.
since and it depends. It's because it's really me and my sister that do everything. And sometimes my niece or my daughter will help me, and we'll I'll get people since Las Vegas, since winning everything. People will come, but we always make our family's pizza. And when we have time, we'll do other stuff. But I
Okay.
don't always have time.
All right.
So sometimes it's just my family's pizza. Then I'll get people will come from New York or Philly. And I'm like, listen, I tell them, you might not like this pizza. I give them the whole story.
Yep.
And then I'm like, and do me a favor. If you don't like it, send me a message. Don't go online bashing me,
Sure.
please,
Sure.
because I don't think you're gonna like it. Now keep an eye out for times we make different things that I think you'll
Yep.
like. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you get somebody from New York where there's American cheese on the pizza, they're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
But that's listen. And I tell people, no matter what I've done in Vegas or whatever, at the end of the day, in that area, my family's pizza outsells everything.
No kidding.
Everything.
Wow. Every other type of pizza, your family's oh is number
In
one.
our
That's
spot, in my spot.
sure.
Like,
No, in New Columbus. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. So there's a lot of loyal pizza fans. Kind
Yeah.
of like,
Well, it's a memory, Albert. You know what
yeah,
I
it's a
mean?
memory. That's
It's a
right.
memory. It's a
Yeah.
memory pizza, and that's so hard. And it really until 3, 4 years ago, it never clicked, but it's a memory. They've been eating that pizza, the family, since the 60s.
Yep. Yep.
You can't change it.
No.
And I
Yeah.
learned that from Tony. I learned that from Tony.
Well, that's a really important lesson. I think that's just fantastic. So every time you make a pizza, your grandma lives in your heart. Your dad lives in your heart
Oh, and I
when
yell
you
at them
put it
too
out
because
there.
everything about it, everything. I'm like, what are you guys doing? This is not the way to do it,
Yeah.
you know.
It goes
But
against all
everything,
conventional rules that you would think.
everything. Yeah.
Wow. So take me step by step. How was that pizza made?
So basically, we make the dough, let it raise, we put it through a sheeter, press it into the pans, and then those pizzas are sauced and cheesed, covered, and put in the refrigerator overnight.
Okay. And
And they're
so then,
taken out
yeah.
and they raise, and then we bake them.
Yep. Okay. And is there pepperoni on it? Is there sausage on it? Or meats? Is it
It's a normal pizza. It's like I said, it's American cheese, and we do a little bit and locatelli, pecorino romano, and then we have toppings. We have pepperoni, long hot peppers, whatever you want, onions, whatever
yeah.
whatever you like. We do our onions different. We saute them and then we drain them and then we season them with a few spices. But
Yep.
we put all our toppings on after the pizza's cut.
Okay. After the
So it's
pizza's
kind of how
cut,
we
then the
do the
topping's on.
toppings. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Which is an interesting process. It, but it, but it, but as you said, I mean, I like the statement. It's a memory, and it's
Hmm.
what people like. It's what they know. And it's kind of the Old Forge thing, because people grew up with Old Forge.
Yes.
They are very loyal about it. And I want to give a shout out to Jim Mirabelli of Napa Pizza Reviews, who's kind of carrying on the torch of Old Forge pizza. You know,
Jim does it. Well, there's another pizza up here too, which I like,
okay,
which it's pan fried Sicilian,
okay, pan
which
fried Sicilian, right?
which is we make that. We don't make Old Forge a ton at our shop, but we do make the pan fried Sicilian, and that's just a pizza that's unbelievable.
Okay, tell me a little bit about it. What makes
It's
that a unique
Well, the,
pizza?
the dough is similar to like an Old Forge dough, even my family's dough, but it's literally fried in the pan.
Oh,
Like
okay.
there's
So
not a
there's
little bit of
oil
oil.
underneath the pan on the
There's a
pan.
lot of oil,
There's a
Albert.
lot of oil. Oh,
And the
wow.
pizza gets fried. And what's beautiful about it is there's enough oil in the pan. It lifts the dough off the bottom of the pan, and you get this beautiful golden brown on the bottom.
Yep,
And
yep.
a lot of places, that pizza for us is very heavy cheddar, um, some mozzarella, a little bit of brick. Um, it's very heavy cheddar, and the sauce is it's not sweet. There it's very oniony. And that's just a beautiful combination. And that literally is probably my favorite pizza to eat. One of them.
Wow. Wow. Oh, wow.
The
Wow.
pan fried
And
Sicilian's a
I,
very,
I
very good pizza.
honestly, I've never heard of it before, other than through Jim Mirabelli. He reviews it a
Yeah.
few times.
It's
So,
spreading. There's a kid, Nick Turco, has Turco's Pizza. He lived in this area for a little while, and he's doing great pan fried Sicilians out in Pittsburgh now.
okay. Oh, that's
You
great.
know, but it's
That's
um
great.
it's a good pizza.
Well, to me, it's another regionalized pizza. It
Yeah.
sounds like, kind of like Old Forge. And again, people that eat that pizza are very loyal about it. Don't tell me it's not great pizza or
Yeah.
whatever. Um, and again, it comes back to what you said, and I think that's really important. It's a memory.
Oh yeah.
It's a memory. And
Yeah.
that is, that is something you can't put your finger on it. You can almost
No,
not
it's
describe it.
it's like the New Haven people. I love New Haven pizza. I love all pizza. I mean, listen, I could take a
Okay.
piece of Myers bread, put sauce on it, put some cheese on it, put it in the toaster, and I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. I don't, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, but it's no different. Like, you go to a place in New Sally's or Pepe's, and it's like you've been going there for 40 years. It's a memory, man. Like
No,
it's lives in your
no.
soul.
No, and when I think the most unique thing about New Haven pizza, obviously, is the taste and how it's made, but the pizza fans, they are fanatics. I mean,
Oh,
they're
they're great.
unlike
Yeah.
any pizza fan I've ever met. But but
As they should
again,
be. Listen, man, that's some of the best pizza on the planet up there.
yeah, yeah, it certainly is. I mean, but again, all pizza is good pizza, I think.
I'm like
You
you,
know,
man. Like I don't, it's funny. My kids, kids are kids. They'll get Domino's, and I'm like, I take a bite. I'm like, it's not the worst. You know
not
what I
the
mean?
worst.
Like
No,
I
no,
I just like pizza, so it
sure.
doesn't for
Yeah,
me.
I kind of like Peter Reinhardt once told me his definition of pizza. He said there's good pizza and there's great pizza. He said it only two times. And he said the great pizza is pizza that you just cannot get out of your mind.
Yeah,
And I think that's true. That's the memory,
yeah.
the memory. It's just a very, very cool thing. I want to talk a little bit about winning Pizza Maker of the Year, which is pretty no small feat. For anyone that doesn't know, and Pizza Expo is huge. 2024 was gigantic. 10,000 people are there. You're competing with literally the best people on the planet making pizza. And here you are, you not only you win your division, but
Yeah,
then you make Pizza Maker of the Year.
yeah.
Incredible. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was a long road for me because the prior two competitions, I did absolutely horrific. Well, no, I'm sorry. The prior competition to that, I did pretty well in Atlantic City, but the two before that, I was almost at the bottom. I just didn't do well. The one was in Atlantic City, and I did a round pizza. My dad had just died. I'm not making excuses, but my dad had just died. I just wasn't in the right headspace, and it was not a good pizza.
Yep.
And then I came in like second to the bottom, I think. And then going to Expo after the book thing, and I'm going to make the white pizza in the pan division, and da 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 da. It's a great pizza because I had made an Old Forge pizza previously in Las Vegas. I came in fifth,
Okay.
fifth or
You
seventh.
you
I don't
entered
remember,
you
but it was
entered an Old Forge type of pizza.
prior a few years
Yeah,
ago.
that's what you could right, but that's what you
Yeah, and I
compete at.
did
You did.
pretty good. And but then this time I was almost at the bottom, and I was like, son of a bitch. Like I think I'm done with this. I don't want to compete anymore. I'm sick of it. And then I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. Atlantic City came up in, I guess it would have been the fall of 23. And I'm like, you know what? My dad would tell me, stop being a little baby and do it. At least go out feeling good about yourself, whether you do good or not. Just try something. So they had a slice competition, and you could enter any slice you want. And I had been working on a Sicilian dough for a while, not the pan fried stuff. So I made a Sicilian pizza. Very happy with it. You couldn't par bake it, nothing. It was all straight, right?
Yep. Yep.
Very well fermented, 3-day dough. So I made you'll laugh. I made the pizza, I entered it, and I left. I went home. I
You
drove three
went
hours back home.
home.
I didn't even stay. I didn't care. And then Siler's called me and said, yo, you came in third. I'm like, no shit. I came in third
Wow.
in Atlantic City.
Wow.
I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I have something here. Maybe I have something here. So we'll give it one more shot. I know if I made that pizza and even came in last in the Panda, I couldn't make it better than that. So I'm like, you know
Right.
what? Do this for Vegas coming up in March of 2024. And Albert, I probably made that pizza 1,000 times. Just kept making it, making it, making it. And it was a very simple, well, I should say simple. It looked simple, but it wasn't very simple. There was pizza, it was a Sicilian with a honey whipped ricotta and pepperoni jam on it. And
Whoa.
I made it. I gotta tell you, I wasn't happy with it when I made the first one. at all. I
Hmm.
didn't like how it looked. I didn't, and go back at night. They released everything and I came in third. I was like, wow, holy shit. All right. So here we go. The next day I'm there. I had more dough. And you guys, you remember they always do that party at night, the Wednesday night party
I
at
do.
Expo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody was at the party. And I was in the um I had showed Jeremy and all, here's my dough. And I'm in the competition area by myself, par baking my shells.
Wow.
Everybody was having a good time and
Drinking beers, watching the tossing. Yeah.
whatever. I was making my dough or making my shells. And then next morning, compete, and the five of us, the top five, had to compete again. And I could not believe that I came out on top.
Yes. Wow.
I came out on top. And at that point, I didn't care. I was just so happy to win something that Pizza Maker of the Year was a bonus for me. It was a
Yep.
bonus. It didn't matter,
Yep.
And then, I was lucky enough to I made a side. We used the same dough, same par bake, but I made a sausage and pepper pizza for Pizza Maker of the Year,
Yep.
and I was lucky enough to pull that one off, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think I read somewhere that you kind of channeled your dad when you were putting that together.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and anyone knows sausage and peppers. Hey, that's a kind of Italian
I
sub.
said
It's
I,
just
I looked at the ingredients and I said, his nickname was Zeppy. So I said, Zepp, I said, what the F am I going to do with this stuff? You know?
yeah.
So between him channeling me and I had Bruce Springsteen in my headphones, I just, yeah, I just made it, and it
Yeah.
worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just fantastic. And congratulations.
No, and
That
then I didn't even want to do it again because I got to tell you, like, people don't realize, like, unless you just want to compete and not win and don't care, if you want to do well, it's nerve-wracking, man.
oh, I can
Like,
imagine.
so I was so happy to have accomplished that. And Bill Oakley said, "Do you want to do best of the best?" I'm like, not really. I want to enjoy an expo for once, but he
Yeah.
convinced me.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate. I did best of the best last year, and I won that. So I've as far as competing goes, I've accomplished, I think, the most that I could ever do,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
Um, but it was 2024 was very special. That was and I needed that. I needed that for myself. I needed it for to bring my love back to pizza again a little bit.
Yep.
And I really I just the only wish that I had is that I wish my dad was alive to see it,
Sure. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he was with me. I know he was.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your dad was there with you. He was sitting on your shoulder.
He's like Ratatouille up there.
Yeah.
Do
There
this,
you
do that. You
go.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
What a great story. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that story. Tony, you're a pizza maker. You love making pizza. How about giving us some tips for the home pizza guy? Some pizza
Yeah.
making tips.
Geez, what kind of tips you looking for, Albert?
Just general stuff to get started. Um,
So I would say just keep it simple. If you're starting out, don't worry about starters, don't worry about all this other stuff. Make a simple dough, use good flour, get King Arthur bread flour or, whatever kind of pizza you're making.
yep.
Get a general recipe, make a simple dough, and kind of build your skills off of that. And if you're making it at home, start with a pan. You don't have to
Okay.
go and spend all this money for steels or stones or outdoor ovens. You could eventually,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
but, but I would say just kind of start with a pan with a good simple dough, a good tomatoes. You can get, commercial, retail. I would tell you to probably buy Bianco di Napoli.
Yep.
Add some salt and basil to it, maybe some garlic if you want, and get some, get a block of mozzarella at the store, shred it yourself,
Yep.
and see what you come out with,
Yeah. Interesting you should say that because I had forgotten when my dad was my inspiration to make pizza. Not that we made pizza together, but it was many years later. But early on, when I started making pizza, it was all in a pan.
Yeah,
I used a cookie sheet. I oiled a cookie sheet, and that's how I
yeah,
stretched the pizza before I got into it a little bit more. But that was a great starting point for me many, many years ago. I had totally forgotten about it till we spoke, till you just mentioned it,
yeah.
you know? And
Make
it
it in a
was
pan. And,
there,
and
I
I
didn't
go
even
back
know
to
about pizza stones or steel. I didn't know about that stuff.
nothing.
No.
And there's an old interview too that I go back to occasionally from Anthony Mangieri, who I never met. I'd love to meet him someday. Always an inspiration. Um, he had said that if you're making pizza at home, make it in a pan, you
Wow.
know, make it in your home oven. But that's, but I would tell people don't go spending all this money on this stuff. Like mix it by hand. Like just make sure you want to keep doing it. If
Yep.
you know if you can make a half decent product like that, then go invest in a mixer. Then do that stuff.
Yep.
Invest in I would tell I wouldn't get a pizza stone, I get a pizza steel. I think
Absolutely. No.
that's
Agreed.
the way to
Agreed.
go,
No.
And the little rock boxes that we have are great. Those rock boxes are great.
Yep. The portable pizza ovens. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
But that changes the pizza you're making too. Like, it's so I don't know. There's something about making pizza in a pan in a home oven that I love.
I like that. That's a great idea. That's a great and coming back to you, your grandma's pizza recipe, your grandmother, they're made in a pan, as you said. They're
100%.
cooked in a pan. Yeah,
I
that's
listen,
fantastic.
I still have trouble. We have the wood-fired oven, make the 12-inch pizzas.
Yep.
We just started maybe twice a month we offer 16 or 18-inch round New York style pizzas. But I only started that 6, 7 months ago.
Oh,
So
no kidding.
when it comes to stretching really big pizzas, I'm a
Yep.
novice at it. Like I'm not pan pizza is my jam. Like that's what I learned. So but I'm gonna keep perfecting those and that technique. But there's something about a pan, Albert. I don't know, you
That's
know.
fantastic. No, that's great, man. You've been an inspiration to remind me of that. Yeah. 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 There's something about a pan. Um, or
And don't
what
go spending a ton of money. You go to Walmart and buy a cookie sheet.
exactly.
Like
That's what I had. It was a cookie sheet.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to do they can go online and they can, make sure their dough's proof. Make your dough, portion it out, try to ball it, put it in the fridge at least overnight, depending on what kind of pizza you want to make. But um, kind of press it out on the table, and they can even put butter in their pan. They can
Okay.
press it out. They could use Crisco. If you don't want to use seed oils, you could use butter. You could use beef tallow. Whatever you want.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, those are great tips. I really appreciate it. What are you up to now, Tony? Anything new going on? You're still catering occasionally with your
Yeah, that
mobile?
winds down now. We are act. I mentioned before I do work full time, but I'm actually I'm getting caught up in a layoff.
Yep.
So I'm still interviewing with the company I work for other positions, but it hasn't been working out.
Yep.
So in congruency, I'm actively looking in case I do not get a job. We're looking for spots to open our own full-time pizzeria,
Okay. Okay.
which is something that I've always wanted to do. But I'm not just going to open a spot for the sake of opening a spot. Like everything has to be like I'll wait if that makes sense. I want the right location. I
Sure.
want the
No, it does make sense. And you want it to be correct. You want it to be right. You want it to feel right. You need it, whatever. You just don't want to throw something together.
no.
That's great. That's great.
So that's it, Albert. I mean, just that, and I have two teenage daughters that are driving me nuts. You
Tell me
know,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
How did you end up from Vermont and Connecticut in Hawaii?
Oh, that's a great question. The long and the short of it was I was living in Vermont. It was like 20 below zero. I had a brother that lives in Hawaii. I was cutting wood, throwing it in the furnace. And he said, "Hey, there's opportunities out in Hawaii." Well, that's all I needed. Man, I came here and here I am. And, I met my wife here. I have a daughter. Now I'm here. So
Now, are you
worked out well.
retired or no? You still work?
Yeah, I'm retired. Yeah.
What did you do, Albert?
I was a special ed teacher for about
Oh, get
30
out.
years. To be honest with you, the coolest thing I did was I work with multiply handicapped kids, and we had a full kitchen. So I was able to incorporate pizza with them.
That's
Made
great.
pizza, once or twice a month. Oh, it was great. It was a blessing, really. It was a blessing to be able to
Now,
use that
where in
skill.
Hawaii are you?
I am on, on Oahu. It's the main island. It's where
Okay.
Honolulu is.
Okay.
It's the main place. Oahu's got about almost 1 million people.
Yeah.
Pizza stuff isn't a profitable uh, part of what you
It
do, or
is. No, it is. But my shop, it's keeping a family legacy going. It's
yep,
really not in an area to where I could open, like if I sold 150 pizzas on a Saturday
yep,
and I opened up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'd
yep,
sell 200 pizzas.
sure.
Like it's not an area where I'm going
Oh
to be able
yeah,
to survive.
no. And there are people cooking 200 or 300 a night, every night, consistently.
Yeah.
And so you
Yeah.
so you just don't have the population to kind of support all
You
that.
just
Oh, I
don't, or
see
the
you.
foot traffic or any of that
Yeah,
stuff,
even if you are
So,
pizza
but
maker of the year. Wow.
other
Wow.
areas do, so that's kind of where we're looking.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that was part of your story. Maybe I should have
Yeah.
gotten into it, but
That's okay. I
it's
mean,
fine.
listen, I still work, even though I'm part-time with
Yeah.
it. It's still 30 hours a week,
Yeah, I
probably.
bet. No, man. And you're a dad. Boy, your story is just amazing. I love hearing about you. I love what you did with your dad. I love, carrying on your family's legacy, which is incredible. It's got to be a labor of love. It's more than just something to do. I mean, obviously, there's a push inside you that makes you want to do that. And so, more power to you. Thank you. Thank you for all
Yeah,
you do.
I just want to make my father proud and my mom and dad proud.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I'm sure they are. How can people find you and visit your shop or see you online? What's going on?
Yeah, so we're on New Columbus Pizza Co. You could follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Would love the followers, please. So,
Okay. We're
you
going to
know,
put that out there for you. Yeah.
that'd be great. Again, northeastern Pennsylvania, we're in Nesquehoning, Nesquehoning, we're all pre-order. We're 100% pre-order. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, people will start because we're so small. We could only make and prep so many pizzas. And then we have to cut it because we
Yeah,
just can't store anymore.
sure.
So yeah, so Nesquehoning, Pennsylvania, we post a lot, in social media, especially with our menu. We change our menu weekly, so we try to keep a variety of stuff in there for people. So yeah, give us a follow. We're there. You
Okay,
know,
we'll do. We'll shout you out, Tone.
like we like to say, where the ingredients are fresh, but the entertainment's free. So, if they would have walked in last week, Albert, and about after 25 pizzas, my oven broke. So
No
they would have
kidding.
heard some choice.
I bet. Yeah, and that's the thing I think about that people don't understand. There is that whole side of it where your tools, your oven. Well, what do you do? You know? You- Yeah. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate you spending time
No,
with
I
us.
really
Let's do it
appreciate
again
you reaching
sometime.
out. I
Let's do it
enjoyed it.
again. Yeah. Okay.
Anytime.
All right.